In this video, we're going to look at how to install Microsoft SQL Server Express Edition. This is the free, lightweight version of Microsoft SQL Server. It has a number of limitations, the most important of which is your database size cannot exist. It has a number of limitations, the most important of which is that your database size cannot exceed 10 gigabytes. I'm going to choose the custom installation, and I have already downloaded the software. Now we get to the setup screens. I can make this bigger. Installing SQL Server Express is pretty easy, but there are a lot of options, and so it can get kind of confusing. I want to install a new SQL Server standalone installation or add features to an existing installation. I'm going to skip checking for updates. You can have as many instances of SQL Server or SQL Server Express on your computer within reason as you want. I already have one instance of SQL Server and two of SQL Server Express. I'm going to add another instance of SQL Server Express. In my particular case, I don't have any interest in these machine learning languages, so I'm going to take those out. Here, you can select whatever options you want. It's easiest to just leave those as the default. Now I need to name my instance. So here you can see I have SQL Server Express and Express 2, so I'm just going to add Express 3. I'm going to leave this page as the defaults. I'm going to leave this as Windows authentication mode, and me as the current user, I will be the administrator for this instance. If you choose mixed mode, you will have an SA administrator and you can provide a password for that user. It is easier to stick with Windows authentication mode. At this point, my installation has completed and I can close the installer. Now I am in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, which is also a free download available from Microsoft, and this is where you administer your database. I go to Connect, Database Engine, and you have the server name, which in this case is my computer name, and then you type in a backslash and the instance name that you specified during the installation, and you can connect to it. I can create a new database just by going to New Database. And one thing you want to pay attention to when you create a new database is where it's writing the database files. These are the default locations, and these could have been changed during the installation of the software. I don't particularly like this location because it is not on my normal routine of backups because it's in the program files. So I like to change the location for your data and for your logs. But in this case, I will just leave them as the default. But it is something that you want to pay attention to. And now I have my database.